She did not change her job. She did not move cities. She did not start a 5 a.m. routine or overhaul her entire life. She just did one slightly awkward thing every morning. She looked in the mirror and forced a smile. Here is what happened after 30 days of that tiny, weird habit. Why she tried it. She was not clinically depressed. She was not in crisis. She was just off. Mornings felt heavy in a way that was hard to explain. She would wake up and before she had even sat up properly, she was already on her phone, scrolling, not looking for anything specific, just filling the space before the day started. Everything was fine technically, but she did not feel like herself, and she had not for a while. Then one day she saw a post. It said something about how the brain does not always lead the face. Sometimes the face leads the brain. That holding a smile, even a fake one, even for just a few seconds, can send a signal to your nervous system that things are okay. She was skeptical. She actually rolled her eyes a little. But she was also tired enough of feeling flat that she thought, fine. I will try it for a month. 10 seconds every morning. What is the worst that could happen? The experiment week 1. Awkward and fake. The first few days were genuinely uncomfortable. Standing in front of the bathroom mirror at 7 in the morning, forcing a smile at yourself is not a dignified experience. She felt ridiculous. She kept breaking into an actual laugh at how strange it felt. A couple of mornings she forgot entirely and only remembered when she was already in the kitchen making coffee. There was no dramatic mood shift, no sudden lightness, no movie moment, but she noticed one small thing. For 10 seconds every morning, she was checking in with herself. Not her phone, not the news, not her to-do list, just her own face in the mirror. That was new. Week 2. Tiny shifts around day 8 or 9. Something started to change. Nothing big. More like a quiet adjustment. She would finish the smile and catch herself thinking, okay, today might not be awful. Not that today would be great, just that it might be okay. Her face was relaxing a little faster after she woke up. The tension she usually carried through the first hour of the morning was lifting slightly earlier. She was spending less time scrolling before getting out of bed, and she made a few small decisions differently. She answered a text she had been putting off. She sent an email she had been avoiding. One morning she put on real clothes instead of staying in the clothes she had slept in. None of those things were because of the smile directly, but something was shifting in the direction of participating in her own day instead of just moving through it. Weeks 3 and 4. The real change. By week 3, the smile was automatic. She did not have to think about it or talk herself into it. She just did it. Sometimes she did not feel like smiling at all, and her reflection looked a little tired and unconvinced. She did it anyway. The change was not dramatic. It was not a transformation. It was more like mornings felt 10% lighter, then 15. Not every morning, but most of them. And the people around her started saying things. You seem more like yourself lately. You seem more settled. She did not always know what to say to that because she could not point to anything specific she had done, except the weird mirror thing, which she was not quite ready to explain at dinner. Why this works here is the simple version without the jargon. Your brain reads your facial expressions as data. It is constantly scanning for signals about whether you are safe or whether there is something to worry about. When you hold a smile, even a fake one, even for just 10 or 15 seconds, you are sending a small signal that says the situation is okay. You are not in danger. The day is allowed to begin. It is not magic. It is not a cure for anything serious. It is just a micro signal, a tiny piece of input that nudges your nervous system slightly away from threat mode and slightly towards settled. The research on this is interesting but also limited, and the effect varies person to person. What she found was less about the neuroscience and more about something simpler. For 30 days, she gave herself one tiny, predictable moment of kindness every morning. Before the phone, before the news, before the to-do list. Just 10 seconds of her own face looking back at her, willing to try. That moment became a small anchor, a reminder that she was still paying attention to herself even on the days when everything else was pulling her somewhere else. The soft takeaway. If mornings feel heavy right now, you do not need a 20-step routine. You do not need a new planner or a 5 a.m. alarm or a whole new version of yourself. You could just start with 10 seconds of a fake smile in the mirror and see what happens. Not because it will fix everything, not because it is scientifically guaranteed to change your life, but because it is 10 seconds, and it is yours, and it is a way of beginning the day by showing up for yourself before you show up for anything else. One quiet disclaimer before we close. If mornings feel more than heavy, if you are really struggling, if this kind of tip feels too small for what you are carrying right now, please talk to someone who can actually help. A therapist, a doctor, someone you trust. This is not a substitute for that. Nothing in a YouTube video is. But if you are just a little off, if you are functional but flat, if you are moving through your days but not quite inside them, maybe try the mirror thing, 10 seconds, just to say to the version of yourself who has to get through today, I am still here with you. If this resonated, click the link button and subscribe so you can catch our next video. See you there.